Hey guys, it's me, Rasmus, and welcome to a new Drone Wars devlog. So luckily a lot has happened since the last devlog. Client prediction and server reconciliation is now fully working with both character classes, humans and drones. Unfortunately I had to replace the rigid body on the drone with a character controller component, since the rigid body kinda caused a lot of rubber banding when colliding with objects for some reason. Sadly this means I can't use the add force method to move the drone, which means I have to do a lot of coding myself to kinda smooth out the movement. In return, I got rid of this bug where the drone was kind of dragged in one slightly sideways, actually moving forward. I never found out the reason, but now that I'm using a character controller, I don't have that issue anymore, so that's quite nice. Anyways, I managed to achieve almost the same kind of movement feeling with the character controller as I had with the rigid body. The only difference I noticed so far is that when you press a move key, you will be at your speed instantaneously and not slowly accelerate to the normal speed. But at least for the slowing down of the drone, I added some extra lines of code to kind of smooth out or make it smooth down, slow down smoothly. Yeah, I can't talk today. I probably should do something like this, slowing down smoothly with the human character controller too. But I think that's also a quality of life improvement I can do later. For now, I should probably focus on some more important stuff. So some other things I've done so far is I've worked on remote client interpolation, smooth out the gap between the incoming movement packets. So I've also worked on some animations, some for the drone and some for the humans, even a first person animation. And here I could reuse a lot of the stuff I'd made for the update in the old Drone Wars version that never came out. Okay, I think that was pretty much everything related to the movement. Let's move on to the shooting. So I've extended my shoot script a little bit. You can now shoot with full auto. And since everything related to the shooting is executed on the server, mainly to prevent cheaters from doing anything weird, and since I'm using raycast for the shooting, this led to that a player could sometimes hit himself, which obviously sucks. So to prevent this from happening, I added penetration, which means the bullet can go through, or in this case the ray can go through multiple colliders, and the script then checks if the hitbox belongs to the player that fired the shot, and if that was the case, the penetration value will get resetted and no damage will be applied. And of course I also made sure that you can only hit another player once with one shot, since sometimes the hitbox has multiple colliders inside of each other, and then with penetration, the ray would hit the same player multiple times, which could one hit kill him, and of course we don't want that. But one thing that I think is really cool with this bullet penetration is that you can shoot through some of the walls, and also you can technically hit more than one player with one shot, since the ray will obviously go through multiple objects. And for now I've set the max penetrations value to 3, which means you can hit up to 3 players with one shot, which is kind of cool, I think. Like imagine having 3 enemies that are all on low health, and you kill them all with one shot. I think that could be really satisfying. But we will see how that turns out in the gameplay later, so we might adjust something there. We'll see. Also, some of you that maybe have some experience with Unity might wonder why I don't just give the local player a layer that the raycast goes through. But as I said, all the shooting stuff is getting executed on the server, and as far as I know, there's no way of doing it there since the server doesn't have a local player, right? So, okay, let's move on. So I've tried to use the new Unity VFX system to make some muzzle flashes, and they look terrible. I will of course work more on this to make it look better. Maybe I will also get back to the old Unity particle system and use that just for that. I might also end up using both. We'll see. So then I've added bullet hole decals, which look pretty cool. The textures, I just took them from the Unity particle pack, I think. But they are really amazing since they have a normal map, which means they also actually look like bullet holes and not just like a 2D texture lying on top of a 3D object. And especially for this, I'm so glad I chose Unity High Definition Render Pipeline for this, since the Unity High Definition Render Pipeline has something called a decal projector, which makes working with decals just a lot more fun and easier. And it also gets better results, especially when applying the decal to an object that isn't just flat. Also for these bullet hole decals, I use something called object pooling, which is a lot more performant than just using Unity's instantiate and destroy method, which I did in the old Drone Wars version, which is probably one of the main reasons the server is lagging so often. So yeah, and also with that old Unity networking, weapon effect objects were actually also instantiated on the server. So, and in this version, the server is not going to have anything to do with bullet decals. It is just going to send a message to the clients where they have to set the decal. Also, if you want to find out more about object pooling, I'll leave you a link in the description to a very good video that explains it and actually also shows you how to use it in Unity if you're interested. Anyways, let's move on. So I've added some basic hit markers and damage indicators. For some weird reason, the damage indicators point in the wrong direction very often. So that's something I have to look into, even though I use the same scripts that I used in the old Dronos version. They work perfectly fine there. For some reason, they don't do it in this version. So that's definitely something I will have to work on. I think I will change the script from using just instantiate and instead use object pooling just to make it as performant as possible. So I think that was pretty much everything related to the shooting so far. Um, some other th- some other things I've done is adding a basic dev cam and respawn system. And also I've actually figured out that mesh renderers can be set to render shadows only, which I didn't do in the old Droners project, which is why the local player always has such a weird shadow. Yeah, that was a quick Google search and yeah. So no more weird looking local player shadows. So last but not least, I've roughly started to work on the terrain for the first map, and I've also added some sort of trigger that will kill every player that is outside of the playable area for more than 10 seconds, which I think is a lot better than using actual colliders, since players will again find ways to glitch through them, and yeah, that just kind of sucks. And to make it easier for the player to get notified when he is outside the playable area, I've started working on some extra post-processing effects that will render the scene entirely differently as long as the player is outside the zone. And actually, I also cleaned up my code a little bit, got rid of all the annoying warning messages. So that was everything I could think of that I did since the last devlog. I'll try to make devlogs more frequently now, and maybe like do a little part of the video like every evening, and then maybe try to make weekly devlogs, or at least upload a devlog like every second week at least. I will try. It's probably not going to happen anyways, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Bye. Fuck, this video is going to be long.